At what moment did you realize you were dating an idiot? Asked him what event resulted in World War I. His response was 9/11. He was serious. We were driving around this weird part of Las Vegas and I said, "This is surreal." He said, "I know. It's so real." I repeated, "Surreal," and he repeated, "So real." We were watching Django, and during the winter training montage there is a moment where the camera pans over a herd of reindeer. At that moment my ex said something about how she thought it was weird that they would include reindeer in the movie because it kind of breaks the immersion. I was confused and asked what she meant by that. She went on to explain to me how reindeer weren't real animals and just make-believe like characters in a fairy tale, aka Rudolph and the rest of Santa's reindeer. When she flipped out because her third grader came home with erect on a spelling list, and was on the verge of calling the school. She honestly had lived her entire life not knowing erect had any other use aside from describing a penis. I dated a guy for about a month until I found out that he didn't realize that women's breasts made actual milk to feed their babies. He thought breastfeeding was just a way to hold a baby while giving it a bottle. I told him he was an idiot and he said, with a disgusted sneer, "I didn't know that because I have never known any woman, who had or would, breastfeed their child." I told him that I had breastfed my son and he called me a child molester. The moon is so beautiful tonight. That's a streetlight. When I was helping her with geography homework and she couldn't point out our own country on the map. When she pointed up at a bluish star and sincerely asked, "Is that Earth?" When she surprised me by inviting her mother on our 16-day Hawaiian cruise. She told me with a straight face that our horoscopes had changed and it was a bad idea to be together. In high school I was in an extracurricular program after school. There was one portion of it that was pretty much all girls. I dated a girl from this portion all throughout high school. I went to all of their events and helped out. I always wondered why none of the other girls or their parents really talked to me. Right before we graduated I brought it up to her and she told me that she told all of them that I was physically and verbally abusive all the time. When I asked her why, she told me it was so no one else would steal me away from her. I broke up with her shortly after. When I saw her water her plastic plant for the third time. Edit, no. The first 2 times I was sort of stunned and curious. The second time she actually said, "The water goes right through." She kept trying to put food inside the rolling pin and then trying and flatten it by just rolling it around. I effing swear to gosh I'm not making this up. Back in 2006 my ex-wife fell for the Nigerian prince scam, and gave out our bank account number. A roommate of mine was dating this girl. Very cute, super sweet. We were all in the living room watching another roommate play Call of Duty, World at War. It was still new at the time. She eventually asks if this was based on a true story. We reply that although the specific characters likely didn't exist, the game was based on World War II. Her response, "What's World War II? Are you serious? It was World War effing II." At one point, she even said it's not like everyone knows about it. Yeah, Katie, the whole world knows about it. It was a world war. And not the first one, either. In my defense, this was back in 2004, I found it charming and endearing that he did funny voices, made funny idiosyncratic jokes, and occasionally called me "m'lady." Then I saw Anchorman. Oh my god, he literally was doing a 24/7 Ron Burgundy impression, eclipsing his entire personality. I'm not sure I ever really met him. We were 16 at the time and went to go have sex. I realized I didn't have any condoms and thins when she told me I didn't need one because I trust my body not to get pregnant. I asked her what she was talking about and she told me it takes conscious effort to become pregnant and if she didn't want to be she would never conceive. I told her a story about my childhood. 2 weeks later, she told it for me, but this time it was her childhood. She tried to argue that we could get to the moon easier if we just built a spaceship that could go underwater, and flew it through the ocean to the moon during the daytime rather than straight up. My ex-GF is 5 feet 4 inches and petite. She wouldn't eat all day and have 3 martinis and black out. She would then claim she was allergic to alcohol. We were laying out under the stars and he asked why some were brighter and others dimmer. I told him that there were different sizes, brightnesses and distances away. Confused silence. You mean, they're not stuck up there? I'm lying there thinking this can't be true. But oh yes, it was. Upon further questioning I found that he believed the night sky was a big dark blanket-like thing with stars stuck on it. The fact that our sun was a star also blew his mind, and that just like our sun, other stars could have planets. Too much. I was crushed. I almost broke up with him there and then. But he was very earnest and wanted me to teach him. So I tried. 2 years later and a whole lot of stupid later, we broke up. She thought Scotland was its own island, as in separated by water. We live 30 minutes from the border. When I told her that not every country celebrates the 4th of July, or Thanksgiving, luckily she left me for a crackhead named Brad and told everyone that I finish quickly in bed. When she thought flashing red lights on the road, as in traffic lights blinking red, meant you were entering a different time zone instead of indicating a stop sign. Boyfriend took me to a fancy restaurant and we ordered wine. When the waiter came back, he gave my BF the cork to sniff. My BF grabbed it, sucked on it and licked it like a lollipop, all excited, while the waiter looked uncomfortable, poured our glasses and slunk away.